Everyone, this is Ruben and Veronica, aka Baby Doll and the Roopster, with another live episode of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday. How's everybody doing this morning? Uh, Thought I'd just break the ice by asking how everybody's doing this morning while you guys are joining in. I'm trying to get, hopefully, I can broadcast to a couple of uh, my Facebook page, my personal profile, and I'm already getting a message where it's not going through. What's that? Is that the?
I don't know what platform's from.
You know which one it is.
No.
So we're broadcasting live to our Facebook page, YouTube, and my personal page. That's what I'm trying to do. But for the second time in a row, I think my personal page is dropping out, right? And so the business page, if you can look at the business page and see if I'm broadcasting there. But what we're trying to do is add new social media channels as we go through the requirements. TikTok, I need to elevate my views. My followers, and I think the same thing with LinkedIn. But our Facebook page is good, and our YouTube page is good. It's not on our Facebook page. All right. So for some reason, this thing is not going through. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can add. What is that? Having trouble. Feed. Yeah. We're live here. Okay. So maybe it's just my our business page, I guess. But so wherever we're going live, it's supposed to be our business page and our uh, and my personal profile, but it looks like it's just one over the other. My producer is going to be looking into it, and I'm going to continue to go on because I got a little timer right here that is telling me that I need to move on, right? But before I get started, I wanted to kind of set the tone of the show, right? We've been watching The Bear, and we've had some conversations about the different episodes and the seasons that we're in, and one of the topics that came to mind is I wrote it down here. It says great teams aren't built by avoiding pressure. They're built by learning how to communicate through it. And so I asked my wife, we're like in season 4, and I said, if you had to describe, the episode, how would you describe it? And so that's where this kind of came from, and we'll get more into that. But we wanted to give you kind of an overall theme of what the show is going to be about, and so that way, my goal and my challenge is to kind of weave all of the things that we're going to talk about and kind of keep it in that within the structure of that statement right there. So it's a challenge that I'm going to face. But I got some notes here. Look at me trying to be all structured, which is kind of weird because, as you know, I have. I'm drawing from the matrix. I have an affinity for disobedience. Not really disobedience. It's like structure. It's hard for me to color inside the lines and that kind of deal. I like to do my own thing. I like to, you know, march to the beat of my own drum, if you will. And so naturally, we are doing a podcast at nine in the morning instead of driving to work, fighting traffic to get there, and then being told when I can take lunch, all of that stuff, right? And so some people are made for this, some people aren't. It's not good or bad. It's just I feel like this is what I was meant to do. Not the podcast, but just being free to do whatever I want. you know? So that's my deal. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our weekend plans. We're going to talk about a little bit about the show that we're watching, The Bear. I'm going to tie that into a behind the X's and O's segment, and talk a little bit about some projects that we're working on, and maybe a little bit about us and what we're looking forward to, things like that. So grab your coffee and join us on this journey. Hopefully, we'll make you laugh, we'll make you think, and as I start rolling and I get off the script, that's when it gets good, right? And so, if you guys are tuning in, we have the chat opened up, and send us a message. My wife is monitoring that, and she'll respond right away. Send us a chat. Let us know where you're listening from. Are you at work and you got the volume down a little bit lower? Are you on your way to work? Are you in another city? Or are you here local, here to Abilene, Texas? We'd like to know. One thing that I do know is that there are people that are tuning in. Because over the weekend we had a couple of people say, "Hey, I saw you," and it popped up on my feed, and that kind of deal. And so that's always good to hear because I don't mind hearing myself talk. I don't have a problem with that. I'll talk to one person, and that's why I have my wife here because it's like as long as I got one person that I feel that I'm talking to, I'm good. It could be millions of people. It could be one person. I'm all the same. I don't get nervous talking to people. So this is kind of my how they used to say it. But this is my jam. This is my thing, right? I like doing stuff like this, and but like I always say every week. It cannot be a Mugshot Monday podcast if we're not talking about our coffee mugs and the coffee we're drinking, maybe. So, the mug that I chose for today, and I chose it, like I was strategic with it. Right? I was actually sorting through. I didn't just pick the first one that was close. I said I'm going to pick one that maybe I can talk about. This one right here, we got it at a gift shop when we were in Austin. Right? I don't remember the name of the gift shop, but we were on a deal to where it's like we need to get new coffee mugs to talk about, and then maybe tell the story behind it and stuff like this. And in one of the episodes that we recorded, it was part of our weekend recap. And I don't think it was the gift shop in Georgetown, right? I think
it was in the Round Rock.
It was in Round Rock. And so we just went into a gift shop, say, "Hey, I need a coffee mug," and it's got all of. Actually, this is all of Texas, to tell you the truth. Austin, Texas is the capital. It's got Arlington, Plano. So I was fooled. I thought it was just an Austin thing, and then going to look at it closely.
Like all the big cities.
All the big cities. It's got a Texas. Let me see. It's got Arlington, Plano, Houston, San Antonio. It's got the Alamo on there. Fort Worth,
El Paso,
Laredo, Lubbock. Oh, Lubbock in the house. Dallas, San Antonio again. It's got the Alamo and San Antonio. Corpus Christi. Look how big Arlington is, right? It's got the Cowboy Stadium, Texas Rangers Stadium, and so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little Texas mug. I'm going to call this my Texas mug, but I thought it was just Austin, so I thought all these pictures here were like,
different parts of Austin.
Yeah, different parts of Austin, but shows you how much attention I paid to it. I thought it was Austin, but it's Texas. But yeah, this is the cup that I chose because I'm missing Austin. It's been a few weeks, a month, 2 months. I don't know. How long has it been since we went to Austin?
Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months, and that is too long. We try to make a trip out there once a month to see our kids and our grandson out there, and it's been almost 2 months since we've been out there, but we're making plans to go because I miss them, right? All work and no play makes
Ruben a dull boy.
A dull boy, right? Where's that from? It's from The Shining. From The Shining. But yeah, so if you guys don't know us, you'll probably, if you hang around us for any length of time, you'll see that that we talk in movie, and we talk in shows, we talk in commercials. And so if you hear us saying stuff to each other or to you guys in the audience and you're like, where did that come from? It probably came from a show that we watched or a commercial that we see or a movie or maybe even a book that I read, something like that. I'm like Bumblebee in the Transformers, everything that I say, it's like on a station or a channel that I'm connected to. And so I do have original thoughts. but I like to like bring in the pop culture and bring in things that I just heard into the conversation. I love doing stuff like that. So that's my coffee mug. What did you pick?
I picked this one. God is good.
Uh-huh.
Feeling grateful this morning.
Yeah.
We had a great weekend, and I'm just thankful.
God is good.
God is good. He's been good to us, and we're here, and we have health, and we have life. So.
Oh, where's the the sound effects? That's true. God is good. In church, in the church culture, there's the God is good all the time, and all the time God is good, right? And I think really that's just the posture of your heart, right? It's not whether or not the circumstances are good. Those things shouldn't tell you if God is good or not. You have to determine that before you even get up out of bed, right?
Yeah.
Is God good? So he's good whether you're having, good moment or a bad moment. You have to make those kind of decisions before the circumstances hit, because if you're gonna fluctuate, between whether or not God is good just because things are going good, and he's bad when things are going bad, you're never gonna really like experience God in his, the relationship with God in the way that you could, where it's like, hey, I don't just love you on conditions. I love you, no matter what. It's kind of like whenever Jesus was. So this is not a ministry podcast, but I can't help to like share what's in my heart, right? And but there's this moment where Jesus is asking Peter, if you love me, right? And so he asks him 3 times, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Right? And what we've learned is that Jesus wasn't necessarily like trying to get reassurance, if you love me. He was just trying to say, do you love me like this? Right? Do you love me without conditions? Right? Because Peter was like, yes, I love you like a friend, or I love you as an acquaintance. I love you like a brother, right? But Jesus was asking him, do you agape love me? Right? So that means without conditions. And so if we're going to have any type of relationship with God, that's the way that we need to love him. It's like, God, you are good, because that's the posture that I'm taking. You are good even if my circumstances are bad, right? Even if I'm having a bad day, even if I just you know, failed miserably, God is still good, right? And so we have to posture ourselves to do that. But those are our mugs. God is good. Austin, I'm missing you. If you guys are tuning in from Austin, I love you. I can't wait to see you guys. Take some time off and go out there. And I know we're planning, like in September, we're going to go watch a Ranger game. So I'm looking forward to that. But we got to do something in August for sure. That's our coffee mugs. If you guys see me like going through some papers here, I got some show notes, and in this app that we're on, I could have like a prompter on there, but I think that would be too distracting for me right now. I'm not that used to doing this right here, but I'm learning as we go. And so as you guys can see, I got a new hat, right up here, and I got the microphone up here. We're gonna work on getting some new microphones, and we're gonna add to the podcast as we go and as we're able to, right? I made sure that I got the right backdrop. It's the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday, and not the. I did a behind the X's and O's, and I had this one right here, and I didn't even realize that that I had the wrong backdrop in the background. But it's all right. It's both of them. You'll start seeing a little differences. Just kind of minor changes along the way. One of the things that we're doing, another thing that we're doing is I separated the podcast into 2 different studios, right? And so it's all under the same umbrella, same app, but I'm like, I got the brand and the logo and all of that stuff, like separate. And so the links that we send out, if you're using an old link, we're not there, right? It has to be the one that we sent out. And then we were just kind of going through that on the producer link, is I had to refresh it and send her a new link so that she can log in as a producer. But so we're doing a couple different things. I got some ideas on how we're going to how we're going to grow this thing and grow, try to grow our audience and promote it and things like that. And if you guys notice any of the social media posts that I made, I'm kind of trying to bring back the old school, like, movie guide or TV guide type thing, to where you can see what we got going on for the week. And so that way, just kind of like, hey, what's going on at the Red Alpha Studios, right? That's another new thing. I'm like, in faith, I'm calling it Red Alpha Studios, right? And so I got a little logo that I created and all that. So we're gonna embrace that. So the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday and the Behind the X's and O's podcast is going to be up under the Red Alpha Studios umbrella, and man, we're just going to get after it. But you might be asking the question. My wife's never asked me this, because I'm always real quick at saying why I'm doing what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I first started this, I was seeing all of these podcasters and these influencers talking about how you need to create content, and how, in today's day and age, that's advertising, right? It's like, the more content that you put out, the better the chances are that you can kind of get the attention or attract, potential customers, right? And so that's where it started. It started out, especially with the Mugshot Monday. I mean, not the Mugshot Monday. It started out with the Behind the X's and O's, where it's like, let me try to talk about stuff to kind of get the attention of the audience out there, so that way they can, kind of get to know who we are, and then, maybe if we're their type of people, they can do business with us, that kind of deal. But as I started going, even with this podcast here, it's kind of like, you know, people like talking about stuff outside of, the products that you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was just talking to a customer who dropped off his tow truck today. He asked me, like, what kind of podcast do you have? And so I started explaining to him, and then, man, it just opened up like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And behind the scenes stuff is such a big, like, there's a need for that, because on social media we're so used to putting out our highlights, right? We don't never put out when we mess up, the lessons that we learned, the hard way. We're always putting out the things, and I think that what that's done is that has kind of created, like, just kind of a false, like a false identity, right? That we're putting out there, like, we're not just normal people, and then it also makes you think that you have to be perfect in order to be able to start anything, right? It's like, if I had that problem, I would have never hit record today. And we're going on, I don't know how long that we've been doing this, right? When I started the Behind the X's and O's blog post towards the beginning of the year, I just did it. I didn't ask anybody, what do you think? I just did it. And then what I do is I say, hey, look what I've been doing, for 6 months, instead of like, what do you think I should do, right? I don't suffer from the problem of needing somebody's confirmation to get started, and I'm not saying that to like pat myself on the back, but it's to let people know out there is that, if you have an idea, the only way you're really going to know if it's a good idea or not is if you go out there and try. And because I've heard Les Brown said that the funeral or the cemetery is full of good ideas, right? It's people who probably needed the approval of someone out there, so they never got started. Bless you, by the way. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about that. But I wanted to get into our weekend recap, right? This weekend, like my wife said, it was pretty cool. We had the opportunity on Saturday
Mm-hmm.
to go out to, we set up a booth at the Bops and Builds Car Show. It's the 4th annual Bops and Builds with the not included car club. And man, let me tell you, it was fun. It was fun. I didn't know what to expect, from the car show, and I just knew that the Chino and Samuel, just really good guys, and it's like I've been printing their banners for a couple of years, and I was like, well, I need to show up. And so we showed up, we set up the booth, and we just like, I didn't really put any expectations on meeting people, and I wasn't really like in the mood to go out and hand out business cards and do all that stuff. I just wanted to kind of enjoy the moment, right?
Yeah.
And so we did that. We just sat there and enjoyed the moment. We weren't putting any pressure on ourselves to be like, hey, if we don't get people coming by, we got work to do, or none of that stuff.
Go mingle.
Go mingle. It's like I saw some people that customers and just people came up to us and asked about the products and services and all that. We got to talk to some of the other vendors, that were there, and it was cool, just being good people, you know what I mean? And it's like it didn't matter to us about like locking in, certain projects or anything like that. I think that whenever you go into something like that, if you're setting up a booth, if you go into it saying, I just need to be part of this community, and then you make it like special, it's like it's a privilege for us to be able to set up the car show, right? Because they could have said, nah, we don't want you guys there, and for whatever reason, and then my feelings would have been hurt for like 2.5 seconds, and then I would have got over it. Because that's something about me, my wife can tell you, is that if for whatever reason, if I'm frustrated, if I'm mad, or I usually get over it pretty quick. Maybe not 2.5 seconds, but pretty quick. I just try not to dwell on things, good or bad, really. But if you're going to dwell on something, try to dwell on the good things, not on the bad stuff. So that's, so we went to the car show.
What I liked? I liked just sitting down and just like relaxing for a moment. We had our tent. We had shade. It wasn't too hot. We had a little breeze coming through, and so we had our sports chairs, whatever that you call
the
those,
lawn chairs.
The lawn chairs, and they're just kind of kicking back and.
A little bit of breeze. We didn't put the back thing that we normally do, the back wall. I was just like, well, for two reasons, right? I felt like it's open, and so you get more air that's coming through. But then, there was people in front of us, and then there was people on the sides and the back. And so I didn't want nobody to sneak up on me and try to put me in a chokehold or something like that. You never know when you're at a car show and someone's going to come up and try to put you in a rear naked choke. And so I got to be on guard all of the time. And so that's one reason too, is like I want to make sure that I don't know, I'm kind of like our black cat or our cats, in the morning they're in an action movie or something, it's like if you walk anywhere close to them, it's like they're running around, they're jumping, they're like, oh man, he's about to kill me.
They're always in flight or fight.
And I've heard it called the zoomies. The zoomies to me it's different. The zoomies is when they're just running around like the house for no reason. They're just like trying to get their energy out, right? That's one thing. But then there's another time, and it's usually in the mornings that I notice, is that no one's even walking in the direction and or even thinking about them. And it's like, oh, let me get in the way to try to avoid him from catching me. Right? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna step on you accidentally if you keep doing that. Like, just stay right there, don't move. I'm not trying to attack you. How long have you lived here? You should know by now. I've never once tried to attack you, but every morning, like they're on a mission, And that's how I felt at the car. I was like, I gotta be on a mission, because you never know, someone might come try to blindside me. But so that's the only time that I remember being like that. But any cat owners out there, I know our kids, some of them have cats, but any cat owners out there, what are some crazy things that your cats do Leave us a comment. If you're in the audience, let us know. And if we see it, we'll reply during the show. If not, we'll comment after that. But if you have cats, what kind of cat is it?
Yeah.
Like we got 3 cats.
Yeah, they're mutts. I don't know what would the equivalent to mutt is for a cat.
Are there mutts with cats? Where it's a mix of different things?
Mm-hmm. Ours are just regular domestic. They're American domestic cats. Short hair.
Short hair.
Cats.
Yeah. It always seems like with cats, this was my like my understanding that they're always like, you know, one particular type of cat.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is that, you know, they're probably a mix of a bunch of different things, and they were just born this way. Mm-hmm. But with dogs, it's like, oh, you know, he's, you know, half Chihuahua, half Pit Bull, you know.
Yeah.
And there's always like, you know, that's how they describe him instead of he's just a dog. With cats, it's like it's a cat.
It's a cat.
You know, and then if you start asking what type of cat it is, usually it's like the color. Right?
Yeah.
Or like, is it a long hair?
Long hair.
You know, there's certain cats like Siamese cats, and then
And I found out that a tabby cat, that's just the description of their coat.
Oh, yeah.
I thought a tabby was a kind of like a category of cat.
Yeah.
Like a species.
A new species. Yeah.
But it's just their fur.
Yeah. Well, all I know, whenever I see one of those orange cats, I call it a Weasley.
A Weasley.
I'm like, oh man, there goes another Weasley. And for you Harry Potter fans out there, black cats, I like black cats, and they seem to like me. Yeah. And so we got Panthers, kind of getting old.
Yeah.
I feel bad because Panther was one of my favorites until he started like wanting to scratch. You know, like use your leg as a scratch post.
Yeah.
And then he went off on an adventure somewhere.
I didn't see him for a couple of months.
Yeah, and
those are outside community cats.
Yeah, outside community cats, and so he went off on an adventure and came back, and I guess that adventure kicked his butt because he was like malnourished. It looked like, and the cold. He has long COVID. That's what it looks like, man. Because he's had this sniffles for months, and then he went out and he didn't get any better, and so I guess the sunlight, vitamin D, doesn't work on cats because you know he hasn't got any better. But man, he's tough. He's hanging in there.
He's there.
He'll bounce back.
I think the community cats, they're getting ready to be about 7 years old already, which that is like long for an outside cat too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but they're kind of protected. They got their spots where they can hide and all that stuff.
They got shelter. You know, they got food and water because obviously we feed them and.
Yeah. And my wife, for those of you guys who maybe just tuning into our show, she, whenever they come in, she tries to go and get them fixed. And so if you come and you look at our cats, our little, what is it? What do you call a cat?
Colony?
A colony. Our cat colony. They're all, as long as they've been around for long, they're going to have their ears clipped. And that's a sign that a cat has been spayed or neutered.
Neutered.
Right.
Yeah, I use a community cat program from All Kind. It's no charge. You do have to capture the cat, make an appointment first, capture the cat, take it, and then they'll fix the cat, and they'll either release it they'll drop it off, or you go pick it up. And that's how we've been able to control the kittens, every single year.
Yeah.
We do have last year and this year we had 1 or 2 kitten litters, which I was able to capture some of the kittens, like 2, and they don't survive that long outside if nobody's taking care of them or keeping an eye out on them. And so I did get 2, and I was able to. One didn't make it, and then the other one, I took it to All Kind, and they accepted it, and it got adopted. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and so this is a deal to where, like, if you are a person who cares about cats, right? You know the programs that are out there, and then there's like a whole community of people that that are like looking out for the, you know, for the cats and animals that are out there, the strays, right? And so, you know, that's cool because you have to have that heart in order to see that, you know, and do something about it, right? Because if my wife didn't, you know, take it upon herself to, you know, get these cats and see if we can't get them fixed, see if we can't get adopted. Even before that, you know, she's doing some, you know, some fostering, you know, and you know, it just all started from her love of the cats that we had inside, and so she's taken it to, you know, right there in our local area. But it takes people to do that because, you know, if you don't do that, it just becomes a problem, right? And then, you know, you don't want that type of problem, you know, to get any bigger. And that's one thing that she noticed. Is she noticed that they were just kind of, you know, they were multiplying, right? And so it's like, all right, it's time to do something. And she took it upon herself. And for a while there, it seemed like our house, you know, was the kind of like the headquarters for strays. You know, not just not just cats, but dogs and, man, even a family of raccoons.
Yeah,
They
raccoons.
moved
I don't
in,
mess
like,
with the raccoons. I'm like, hi, hi, family, and
yeah.
they scurry
Yeah,
right along.
yeah, they mostly sneak around at night, and you know that they've been around because the water bowls are dirty.
Are
And,
dirty. They wash
yeah,
their hands.
they wash their hands, which is pretty cool. You know, so I would like to kind of pull one to the side and say, you know, have them on the podcast and say, you know, hey, I said, you're a filthy animal, but why do you wash your hands? And then, are you drinking this water that you're washing here? You know, so it's like, I would love to be able to communicate with these animals because I bet you the stories would be off the chain. You know, off the chain. I would love to be able to talk to them. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the weekend. One thing that I wanted to mention about the car show, right, is that, so we did have, you know, a few people that came by and grabbed business cards, and, you know, there's one customer that we were already working with that it was the first time that we, you know, met him in person.
Yeah.
And so we got to see the car measured. You know, he wanted to add to what we're already getting ready to work on, and so we're talking to him. I met his family and all that stuff. You know, and so this one guy came up to me, and he was like, you know, he was saying that he had a couple vehicles that he needed to paint, but he wants to wrap them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he needed to sand down, need to wrap them. And one of the vehicles, I thought that I heard him say an 82 teacup, but I think he might have said T-tops.
Oh.
But I was trying not to look dumb, right? Because, you know, you don't want to be the guy that, I don't know what type of car that is.
And you said, oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, I'm over here, I got my phone, and I'm like,
looking for it.
82 teacup. And it's like I'm getting pictures of like coffee mugs and teacups and stuff like that.
Actual teacups.
Actual teacups. I'm like, man, what is it? And then I was like, I can't seem to find a good picture, right? He's like, oh, I got one right here. And then I was like, man, how come you didn't just tell me a Firebird, a Pontiac Trans Am, or something like that? You said 82 teacup. That's what I heard, right? Maybe he said T-top, and so I was like, I was trying to play it off and act like I didn't know what I was doing, and so he probably picked up on it because I was just sitting there, just kind of like, uh-oh.
Well, you played it off well.
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to the conversation, but
yeah, I know how to play stuff off pretty good, man. But I was sitting there like, what is that? If you're a car guy, is that a nickname for the Pontiac Firebird with the T-tops? Because he might have said T-tops, but I heard teacup, and so
it's similar.
Yeah. So I was looking for teacups when I should have been looking for an 82 T-top, right? And I did not hear the Firebird. I didn't hear none of that stuff. But when I saw the picture, I was like, why did you call it a teacup? You're throwing me off the rails here. And but, you know, we got the cards and stuff like that. And so we'll see if he gives us a call or if I ruined it because I didn't know the type of vehicle it is. But we'll see. But yeah, so we... you know, that's pretty much what we did over the weekend. Obviously, we watched a little bit of a show that we're about to get into. Is there anything, did I miss anything?
Oh, well, just on the car show, they had the car limbo. That's the first time I've ever seen a car limbo. And then they had the where you just rev up, I guess, your car to see
The Rev Challenge, yeah,
the loudest, right?
yeah, the Rev Challenge. And so whenever we were leaving, we were in the line for the Rev Challenge, and I was like, we're not trying to rev up
I
the
bet you
Rev.
people were like, well, what's a rap doing in this line?
Exactly. I was gonna go beep beep, and but you know we found a little way to get out, and oh, and then there was the bass challenge, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to miss out on that. Man, Audio Magic had a van that was like
It.
crazy.
I don't even know what the amps or whatever you call those.
Yeah, it had
things.
all of the speakers, it had all of the stuff, and they had the music that had the bass, and I was like, when I went by it, it was like, zzz,
Yeah, like your
it was like
whole.
the music got into my mitochondria.
Yeah.
And
It
when
was
I walked,
rattling.
yeah, I told my wife, I said I felt that in my nucleus, and I felt it in my nucleus, and so it was awesome. And there was this kid that had a you know some big hair and afro, and then when he was in there,
it was just like moving like this. I've never seen that before.
That was pretty cool, man. It was like the bass, and
I had to step back because my eardrums were
really. Yeah, no, it didn't bother me. I was just like,
they were
I took a little video, and I could feel it, but it's like it was cool to me, and so you know I walked around it, took a little bit of video. There was some really cool vehicles out there, you know, paint jobs that were. You know, like paint jobs. Maybe some of them were wrapped that were out there. But,
yeah.
like all different categories. There was some motorcycles out there. Man, it was a lot of fun. Just
fun.
to kind of those food trucks out there, which was cool, and you know they had some music going on, and the music was good. It wasn't just one category. It's kind of spread out. You know, they
variety for
good
sure.
variety. We're hearing some old school, you know, like hairband music to some old school rap and even country music. It was pretty good. So yeah, it was. And then it was really cool to kind of, you know, every few minutes or whatever they were giving shout out to the sponsors.
Yeah.
And of course we were one of the sponsors, and it just kind of like
they had everything very organized. I mean, they did a really great job.
Yeah. Shout out to the Not Included Car Club here in Abilene. You guys put on a good show, and we were happy to be a part of it. And like I told you guys there in person, when I handed you the Red Alpha whistle, you know, count us in for next year. We're gonna do, you know, what we did this year and then some. You know, we want to get better as well. But put on a great car show. Yeah. Those guys. So if you're not connected with them, connect with the Not Included Car Club. They have meetups, you know, once a month. If you're a food truck and you'd like to, you know, get on I guess on their rotation or whatever, hit them up. Let them know that Red Alpha sent you, and then hopefully we'll be able to see you at a meetup too. Because you know, they said that they have barbecue trucks and coffee trucks and stuff like that sometimes, and so. Man, they're cool people, and they don't judge me for not having a fixed up car. They said that my Toyota Corolla is welcome, you know, so that's awesome. I'm like, man, even it just got the hood wrapped. Yeah, bring it on. And so we may start up a new category of business cars, you know, commercial wraps or whatever. And but yeah, that was our weekend. The weekend was pretty cool. You know, you got a chance to spend some time with their son.
Yeah,
you know,
it was fun. We went to Barnes and Noble. That's a new bookstore here, opened up not too long ago, and Natural Grocers at the new location. It was pretty cool. And yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah. So we also knocked down a few episodes of a new show that we're watching. Called The Bear, right? And so we've been watching it for, you know, a couple weeks. We're on season 4. We're like almost midway season 4. They got 10 episodes. We're probably like episode 4 or 5, or something like that. And so if you guys have not checked out this show, it is worth watching. When I first started watching it, I thought it was just about cooking, and I'm like, I'm not going to be into this. But we've had several people recommend it to us, and we were in between shows, and so we like, okay, let's check it out. And it is a great show. It is about, you know, really the people trying to push through, you know, some of the issues that they have, you know, from their childhood, just the stress of the environment that was built in this, you know, particular restaurant, and then you're bringing in new people that just aren't. You got old people that have been there. This is the way that we've always done it. You got new people that are taking over. It's like this is how we're gonna do it, and then the pressure of having to, you know, to make it better, right? To make it something special, right? And so the characters, man, it's just like uh, I can kind of relate, you know, I can kind of relate, and so it was the question that I asked, you know, after one of the episodes, because it's like, you know, it's like if you had the opportunity to describe the show to someone who hasn't seen it, the first word that came out of your mouth was
Dysfunction.
dysfunction, right? And so I said, yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
But
right?
then I said it's actually function in dysfunction because they're still getting stuff done.
Yeah.
They're you know they had some ideas, some goals, and they pushed through it and they made it happen. But
Yeah.
it's still that's what I would just
How do you describe it? Yeah, how to function in the middle of dysfunction, right? That is something that I think every business owner, and not just business owner, it's something to where it's like, you know, if you're, you know, in ministry, or if you're, you know, trying to start a new family, you know, or you know, your organization serves the community or anything like that. Anywhere that there's people, anywhere that there's people from different walks of life coming in together, and you're trying to, you know, build a team to provide a service or to provide, you know, support to a certain, you know, demographic, right? Anytime that you're in something like that, there's going to be tension. There's going to be baggage that's brought into the relationship. You know, there's going to be different mindsets, and you know, stubborn people are going to come in. It's like, no, this is how I do it. And then you got people who are more open-minded that are like, well, have you considered this? You got calm people, and you got stressful people. You know, you got funny people. You got people who can't take a joke. You know, and it's like you got sensitive people. You got old people, young people. You know, all of the different. You know, all over the spectrum, and you're in charge of keeping it moving forward, right? My wife, as much as we have in common, whenever we started working together, you know, we're going on 5 years into working together. We realized that, you know, we probably didn't know each other as much as we thought that we did, right? We loved each other. We loved each other, and I mean, obviously, we loved each other enough uh, to get married and to you know, to build, to kind of bring our families together, because we're blended family, right? And so we put ourselves in a situation to where it's like we're gonna have to do this thing together, right? And if you look at all our kids, they're not all the same, right? They're all a little different, right? And so it's like, you know, I've always been like, you know, I can't treat, you know, everybody like as an individual necessarily. So, you know, we have to have some things in common, but you start learning as they get older that they have different love languages, right? And so one you could compliment and he's good for a while, right? Another one you got to compliment more than the others, right? Other people you just got to listen to them, right? And some people you got to give them something, you know. It's like all these love languages, right? And so we're over here trying to focus on ourselves, right? But then you throw in the business, right? So now we're trying to build a business, right? And so we never had any issues in our marriage, right? We're good. We get along. We got along even before we got married, and just she is. It's I don't know if this is rare, but you know, I just got along with my wife outside of, you know, the fact that she was my girlfriend and then my wife, right? And you know, it's just you know, some people you just get along with. I like being around you, and you know, similar sense of humors and stuff like that. And but when it comes to running a business, sometimes that, you know, you got to switch, you know, flip the switch, or you got to be in business mode, and the conversation is like, hey, we got to get this done. You know, I love you, and all that stuff, but we got to take care of business.
And unfortunately, there's not a light bulb flashing behind that person saying, okay, the switch is flipped.
Yeah, yeah.
And unflip the switch.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, you know, like for me, I'm coming in like I'm a wife and I'm working with you, and when we're working during the day, it's like I come in as his wife and I'm like, yes, and then he's, you know, we have a deadline. You're more, you know, we got to do this right now. Give me the the meat of the conversation. Tell me right now, right? And so I'm like, oh yeah, you know, this and this, but
like just the facts, man.
Just the facts, man. Like dragnet. And it's difficult for me to kind of switch back and forth.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. I mean, it's like pointing out like little quirks, you know, that tendencies that you have that no one else has. And it's like we were just having the conversation a couple of days ago. It's like, you know, no one has pointed out things that I've pointed out, but no one has been as close to you as I have.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we are together almost 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 is business, but you know, business carries over after that.
When we get off of work, we're still together, and on the weekends, even we work. Sometimes we work, sometimes we don't. Mm-hmm. We're still together. Yeah. And tell me how many people. There's not. We're in a small percentage of a group.
Yeah.
That of husband and wife that work together in building a business.
Yeah, the same business. Mm-hmm. And you know, so like you're talking to one of us, you know, like either through text or phone call or whatever, and then it's one of us that's actually doing the work.
It's us.
Yeah, so we're owner operators, right? And so you know, if it's not my wife that you're talking to, it's going to be me, and I'm doing the installs. She's helping me with the installs, and I'm the one printing, and she's the one weeding. You know, we're both working on the laminating process, and you know, we in every single one of those processes, you know, there was a conversation, an uncomfortable conversation for us to be able to work together, right? You know, for the longest time, for about 10 years, you know, it's like I was doing the business full time. My wife had a full-time job, and she was helping with administrative stuff, you know, part-time, and in her spare time, which she didn't have any, and so, you know, it was one of those things to where it's like, once we started working together full-time, now you start like really getting to know each other, right? And so it's you know, it's just different. It's not bad. It's just different.
It's different,
right? And so. Whenever she joined me full time, I was like, we're really going to find out what our relationship is made of, because, you know, we're going to see each other, you know, more. And, and so, you know, whenever you're living the normal marriage life, you know, you're working 8 hours, you know, at a job.
Away from each other.
Most people. So 8 hours away from each other. And so you're actually like, I've heard people say that they have work husbands and work wives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're spending just as much time, probably more time with someone at your job than what you're spending with your spouse.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, so your husband or wife, you come, you know, you get off at 5 or 6 o'clock, you come home, and it's like, you're relaxing, doing whatever you got to do, you know, anything that needs to be done around the house, you know, you're eating, you got maybe a couple of hours, you know, and you really don't have that much time, right? And you know, watch a little TV or something like that,
especially if you have kids.
Yeah, when you have kids or when you're going to school, all of that stuff, it's like, you know, you really don't have that much time to spend. Maybe if you go to church on Sunday, you're not even spending it with each other. You're sitting there watching a sermon, those kind of things, and it's not really that much quality time with the husband and with your spouse, right? And so you're spending more time with other people, and then you wonder how people, after, you know, they look up and they say, man, I didn't have any relationship. I'm alone, but I'm right next to somebody, right? Well, one thing's for sure is that me and you should never feel like we're alone, because we're right here next to each other, attached at the hip, right? And so just like the bear, right, we've had to kind of get to know each other in ways so that way we can work towards the same purpose. And sometimes we have to. I think me more than my wife is I have to remind her of what we're doing it for, right? And so the goal was never to be a T-shirt printer, or to be a banner printer, or to be a vehicle wrap guy. That was never the goal. The goal was to build something that I can be proud of. I want to provide a good service to the community, but I wanted to create a life for myself, to where I can be free. I want to be financially free. I want to have time to be able to do the things that I want to do, and I'm not there yet. But that's the reason why I started this business. That's the purpose of why we do what we do. Because we want to spend time with our grandkids. We want to live the life just like everybody wants to live. And those are the goals. And I chose to do it this way. Um, I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do it any other way, right? And nothing against people who go a different route. There's a lot of people who've gone more further, faster. And I'm not talking about that. But we all have to make our own decisions, right? And so here we are, living in our decisions, right? If it look who's showing up, the consequences of my own decisions, right? And so so yeah, we're walking out the decisions that we made, and that's the purpose that we made. But we have to try to find like our purpose, so that way we can move forward. Just like the folks at the bear, it's like you got to get better.
We knew that Carm, he was walking out the consequences of his actions.
His last episode, right?
With Claire.
Yeah. So I was telling that dude, I was like, you tell me how you feel about that. But I was like, just tell her you're sorry.
Yeah.
Tell her how you feel.
Say it. Yeah. Say it and stop trying to explain yourself or make excuses for what you said when he was in the freezer. Just say, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, man, the way it turned out, it really caught me off guard. I really thought that Claire, Claire was going to be like, oh, yeah, I love you too. And she was like, she accepted the apology, but then she's like, I'm going to be fine. And she just walked away from that big old red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's like, how many times do you not walk around the red flags? It's like red flag. Like I was sitting, man, there's a red flag right there. Red flag, red flag. And so, it's easy to see the red flags in someone else, right? In someone else's situation. But you don't realize that sometimes we are
the red. If you don't see the red flag, you probably are the red flag.
You might be the red flag, right? And so, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what, am I, evaluate yourself. Am I a red flag? Or am I, what's the opposite, a green flag? Or am I a green flag, right? Because, that's important because, a lot of times people are saying, this is the way that I am, accept me, for this. And it's like, okay, I do accept you as a human, right? I'm not going to I'm not going to cast you out just because of that. But if you want to be a part of my life, we have to protect the energy. We have to have some calmness. We can't be freaking out over little things. We can't let our emotions be the thing that drives every single one of our decisions. Because man, if I gave in to my emotions, we would be all over the place. I'm talking about bing, 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 like Ricochet Rabbit, and it's like, I'm serious because sometimes I feel frustrated, right? Sometimes I feel happy. Sometimes I feel like a nut, and sometimes I don't, right? For all you old school guys, right? And so sometimes I need a V8. And I don't know why I'm saying all these commercials, but sometimes it changes, right? My mood fluctuates, and I tell this to my wife all the time. I was like, look, feeling the emotions is not something unique, right? Everybody feels the emotions, but it's how you process those emotions, and then you stay focused on the main thing, on the purpose, on why you're doing it. If you can keep that purpose in front of you, right, your emotions don't have that much of a say so, right? And that's hard. That's hard.
And I say, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, and so it's hard for, especially when you haven't had the the time to learn how to manage your emotions, right? Whenever you've been allowed to have whatever emotions that you, it's like it's normal. I feel a lot, and yes, everybody feels a lot. You know, you are a normal human. We all feel a lot. No one feel. I don't think that no one feels more than the other person, right? I think that you just start to believe that, and you use as an excuse to not try to manage your emotions, right?
Yeah.
Because if I see a sad, if I see a sad moment on TV, I'm gonna feel sad, right? Sometimes if it's really sad and it hits home, you might see a little tear coming down my face. You'll never see me cry, but my eyes might get watery, right? And especially like if there's some wounds that I haven't really healed, if it hits that, I'm like, okay, that was sad.
And I do have to say that you aren't like you do feel your emotions. It's not like if you're just like a
Like all stoic,
yeah, you don't have a heart of stone.
right? Right.
You you open up. You you always voice your whatever's your concern.
Yeah,
Express your concerns and
Yeah.
talk things out,
Hmm.
and always wants to make things better.
Right. In a calm way.
Yeah,
In a
and
calm
always
way.
in a calm way.
That's important to note, right? Because I got this face that looks mean, right? And so I've trained myself to have this face, right? Because when you have this type of face, people that want to like they want to dump all their baggage on you. Like if you have a happy face, they say, "Oh, there's a happy face. There's a person with a happy face. Let me go dump all my negative stuff on them because they're happy." But when they see someone who looks like just stoic, they're like, "Oh, he's probably in a bad mood." So I trained myself to do that because I don't want people dumping in. I got enough stuff on myself, right? And whenever I was in ministry, man, it was like, text, going all this stuff, and I like, I commented on this guy's post, right? Is he said, if a weak person comes to you, you know, uh, like it's because they need to be weak or something like that, right? I don't remember the exact post, but it was something like that. And so I commented. I said, well, for me, I try to keep this mean look on my face so that weak people don't come to me because I don't have really good advice to give you. Like number one, trust God.
Yeah. Well,
Pray to God.
it is
Trust
good
Him.
advice, but it's not the advice that people want to hear.
Right.
Most
Right.
people don't
Right.
hear.
Yeah, they want. Oh, yeah, I understand. I've been there too, and like let me rub your back. Let me give you a massage, or let me give you something to eat, or they want to be babied, right? But being babied, I used to say this, sugarcoating everything is what gave you diabetes, right? And so the issue that you're experiencing in life is illustrated by the sickness diabetes, right? Most people don't get diabetes because they were born with it, right? Most people get diabetes because they ate too much sugar, straight up, right? They're eating too much sugary stuff, and they have a sedentary life, right? And so you could probably live a good 40, 50 years, really destroying yourself. But once you start getting in your 40s, mid 40s, 50s for sure, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to start feeling it, right? And I'm not saying that I take care of myself, but at least I think about it. And you'll see me in spurts in the gym. You'll see me spurts where I'm fasting and trying to get off of this, get off of that. But it's been a constant roller coaster for me and for my wife. But what I'm saying is you're not going to see me crying, about something that I did to myself, right? And so my advice is usually this, right? Do you believe in God? Okay, if you believe in God, take this to God in prayer. Number one. Number two, trust Him. Trust Him. Then number three, stop making dumb decisions, right? Number four, rub some dirt on it. You know, that's it. There's an extra one. Number 4, rub some dirt on it. You know, just suck it up and then try to make it better. Right? That's all the advice that I really have to give, right?
Or there's
Give it to God, trust God, rub some dirt on it, stop making dumb decisions.
Stop making dumb decisions.
Yeah.
And then do what you can do on your own without God's having to intervene with, you know, because there's things that we pray for
that we could be doing ourselves.
That it's up to us to do. We're praying to God to change this and change that, but we don't change.
Yeah. We don't change. And you got to have some consistency, right? It's hard to build anything, a relationship, a business, a nonprofit organization, anything. It's hard to build anything without consistency. You know, you can't just do it today. You got to do it tomorrow, right? And you find out that your life is the sum total of the decisions that you make every single day. And you can't just try something. And this is like, I'm bringing this back into the bear, right? So there's a like in the kitchen, Carm is trying to be great.
Yeah.
Right. He's trying to do something great. They want to get a star, and you know, he wants to prove how good he is. And you know, it's like, you know, so what he's doing is he's changing up the menu every day, right? And so when you're changing up the menu in a restaurant or in your life, if you're changing it up every single day, how are you going to get any type of traction, right? You have to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and then through consistency you start to get good at it, right? And then if you keep going, you start to become great at it, right? And that's all it is. It's really just sticking to your guns, doing it whether you have one person listening or 1,000 people listening, whether the product isn't as great as it can be, right? Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it and be consistent, and don't worry about all the other stuff, because consistency is going to benefit you as long as you're making the right decisions. And so once they started changing the menu, now you can start seeing some, you know, getting some feedback from the people who are actually in there with you, right? But then just stick to something, you know, because the side truck where they were making the sandwiches, that's actually was bringing in more business, more revenue, right? And because it's one thing doing it consistently.
Their beef sandwich.
Yep, one thing doing, and the reviews were like, oh, it's great, you know, it's chaotic or whatever, you know. So that's what you know, we try to do with consistency. Show up at the same time every day. That's how you get in shape. You show up to the gym. You do it consistently. You know, you watch what you eat. You do it consistently. If you're working on your marriage, you got to work on it consistently. You know, you can't tell your wife you love her once and then that's going to carry you for the thing. You know, and it's doing it consistently over long periods of time, and I think that it varies, you know, between people, right? Some people, they get it quicker, and they are able to, you know, reap the benefits of it, and other people have to do it longer, and it, you know, it's just different for people. And so whatever your journey is, get on the journey, start taking the first steps, so that way you can build some consistency in your life, and hopefully, you know, whatever it is that you set your mind to, and whatever your hands find to do, it'll flourish in your life by being a little consistent, a little bit more consistent, and then building the structure that you need. Obviously, you got to have good people in your life, right? A team. That's one thing that we're kind of feeling the pains are on right there. You know, we got a good design team, and then my wife and I are pretty good, but we need to add more people to our team so that way we can do a little bit more as a whole, right? We stay busy. That's not the problem. The problem is, can we take it to the next level? And for us to be able to go to the next level, we're not going to be able to do it on our own. And so pray for us because we're you know, we're trying to make some changes, and we're trying to trying to do things a little bit different, right? And let me see what else I got here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this right here. I wanted to kind of set you guys up for what's coming up this week, right? So on Wednesday, we have an awesome guest, Mr. Andre Guinn with the Salvation Army. He's actually a local influencer here in Abilene. He's got Abilene Talk. He's got Andre's Imagination and a couple of other channels on TikTok and other social media channels. Andre is a really good person to have on the show. We've had him once, and he's coming on again. We're going to talk a little bit about what he's got going on, some of the programs and events that are going on with the Salvation Army, and just other things that he's doing along the community. It's going to be an awesome thing. It's going to be this Wednesday at 6 p.m. on our Behind the X's and O's podcast. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to going out of town. We actually got an install out of town, and so we get to spend some time with our kids in Lubbock and our grandson. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we got some projects that are already parked here that we're gonna knock out. We're kind of firing on all cylinders, right? We got embroidery orders. We got small format stuff. We got decals and partial wraps and what else? We got t-shirts. We got a little bit of everything going on right now, which is great. And we want to thank you guys for the audience. I'm hoping that whenever you scroll, that you can see our faces. And I'm looking for more and more people to come up and say, "Hey, you guys are the husband and wife team on the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday. Can you give our business a shout out?" Right? Because we want to start giving some business shout outs during the Mugshot Monday. Or if you're a community leader or a business owner and you got a story that you want to tell, get with me, get with us, so that way we can put you on the guest list for our Behind the X's and O podcast. It started out, I was just going to do it twice a month. But man, I'm booked all the way to the end of August already. And every time that I ask somebody, they seem to be open. And I'm honored. I'm honored that I don't have to beg people to join our podcast, right? I just say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Are you interested in joining? I'd love to." And that makes me feel good because, I don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
But not only that, but it just, there has to be some sort of respect, right, in order for them to say, "Yes, we'll do it." And so I want to thank everybody who has joined us. I want to thank all the future guests, that we have lined up, and then anybody in the community that would be willing to join us, on the Behind the X's and O's. I want to just thank you. It means a lot to me. We're going to try to get better and put out better content and all that stuff. And we pray that you just roll with us, right? Roll with us and try to get the treasure inside of the mess, right? Try to get the nugget, right? There's going to be one or two nuggets in every show that we do. And hopefully that nugget will help you have a good day. And maybe it can help you start something and grow it in the future. But really, that's all I have. Do you got anything?
No.
That's all we have for today. It's been another episode of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. I'm Ruben and my wife Veronica, and we're signing out.
Red Alpha out.